with only their interpreters in the room. Then a broader session with aides. After 3.5 hours together, the two leaders will then face cameras and microphones to tell the world how it went. The president has taken pains to lower expectations for this summit, telling CBS News that maybe something good will come from the meeting, but that he's not expecting anything at all.
Durham police are investigating after a man was killed at an early morning shooting. They found a man lying in the parking lot of an apartment complex with multiple gunshot wounds. He was pronounced dead at the scene. The U.S. and North Korea agreed to resume joint search efforts for the American service members who remain missing from the Korean War. Reporter Don Kirk reports.
While they were looking for remains up until 2005, they recovered more than 600 sets of remains. Now there are 5,300 American soldiers missing in North Korea. So the 200 remains that the North Koreans are now holding and have said that they will be willing to return to the U.S. are a very small percentage of all the Americans missing there. 24
people are facing charges after a traffic checkpoint over the weekend. The Craven County Sheriff's Office, alongside other agencies, conducted the checkpoint. You're listening to NCN News.
At AT&T, we believe that access to affordable home internet brings you incredible opportunities. You can enjoy the power to explore a digital world of possibilities and connect with family, friends, and the things that matter most. That's why there's access from AT&T. If a member of your household is a SNAP participant, you may qualify for home internet at a discounted rate of $10 a month. No commitment, no deposit, no installation fee. Plus, get an in-home Wi-Fi gateway at no extra cost. Call 1-855-220-5211 or visit att.com/aware to learn more.
SNAP refers to the Federal Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program. Pricing excludes tax. Service will include a monthly data allowance depending on the type and speed of service you receive. If you exceed your monthly data plan allowance, you will be automatically charged $10 for each 50 gigabytes of data usage in excess of your data plan, even if less than 50 gigabytes is used. For details about data allowances, go to att.com/internet-usage. Wi-Fi enabled device required. Other restrictions apply.
A major shift in the American policy in Afghanistan. The Trump administration has told its top diplomats to seek direct talks with a military consultant. Jeff McCausland, retired Army colonel, says that they are doing this to end this 17-year-long war.
To settle this particular war, bring together an all-Afghan government that can end the conflict. There seems to be some reason to believe this might have a possibility at least of success now. We've seen a negotiated temporary ceasefire during Eid. We've seen some pressure internally in Afghanistan with a peace movement of marchers.
Environmental groups predict the Trump administration will continue its pattern of appointing the least likely candidate to head the Environmental Protection Agency. Kara Cook Schultz is director of U.S. PIRG's Toxics Program and thinks the president should take time to really understand the purpose of the EPA.
Scott Pruitt has failed in the EPA mission to protect human health and the environment, and Americans are less safe today than they should be due to his poor decisions and leadership.
An Asheville car dealership has taken down a 23-foot fiberglass statue of a Native American that has drawn complaints over its 50-year history. Harry's on the Hill was prompted to take down the statue known as Chief Pontiac, partly because of bad experience with a female customer who's a member of the Eastern Band of the Cherokee Indians. From London, CBS News correspondent Jonathan Vigliotti has a story of the World Cup Championship.
They packed in front of the Eiffel Tower. In Croatia, it was Zagreb's main square. The matchup on the screen, a game of David and Goliath. France in blue has been here before, twice to be exact. And with the game's first goal, Griezmann swings it in, and the opening goal! They showed the skill that earned them the cup in 1998. Paris erupted.
Get your message to the thousands. Call the WCAB sales department today at 287-3356.
From ABC News, I'm Karen Travers in Helsinki, where President Trump is meeting with Russian President Vladimir Putin. Their summit started off behind schedule. President Putin landed here in Helsinki about 40 minutes late. A political power play? Perhaps. The Russian president has a history of keeping world leaders and dignitaries waiting, including showing up more than a half hour late for a meeting with Pope Francis in 2015. President Trump says he wants to have a better relationship with President Putin. He says the U.S. and Russia getting along will be a good thing for the world. But this Helsinki summit comes just 3 days after the Justice Department announced a sweeping indictment of 12 Russian military intelligence agents, accusing them of hacking the DNC and Hillary Clinton's campaign in 2016. Over the weekend, the president pointed the finger at the Obama administration, blaming his predecessor for not doing more, but no criticisms or tough words for Putin or his government. I'm ABC's Karen Travers in Helsinki. Now with more, here's Sherry Preston.
Now outside the summit, protesters are gathering, calling on both President Trump and Vladimir Putin to resign. The president talked about the summit while in Great Britain.
Speaking to Piers Morgan from Good Morning Britain, the president said he viewed his Russian counterpart this way.
Right now, I'd say we're competitors, but for Russia and the United States and frankly the UK and other places to get along with Russia and China and all of these other places, Piers, that's a good thing. It's not a bad thing. It's a really good thing.
And he says he thinks he and Putin can possibly get along very well.
Protesters are expected on the streets of Chicago again today after the weekend shooting of an African-American man by a police officer. Body cam video shows 37-year-old Harith Augustus running away from the police when he was shot and killed. Former FBI agent Lisa Page is expected back on Capitol Hill today for more testimony behind closed doors about the anti-Trump text messages she traded with a colleague during the campaign. You're listening to ABC News.
This is a special announcement for all Americans who owe back taxes to the IRS or state. Pay attention. There's a special toll-free hotline set up especially for you. This hotline will give you free information on how you can legally reduce or eliminate your tax debt. Call the Taxpayer Hotline today at 800-441-1943. Grab a pen or put the number in your cell phone. 800-441-1943. You'll speak with qualified professionals who tell you how to stop the collection calls, IRS letters, bank levies, and wage garnishments. And they'll deal directly with the IRS on your behalf, so you don't have to. Even if you haven't filed returns or you already are in a payment plan, you can still get relief. New IRS settlement policies have opened the doors for a fresh start. But hurry, this won't last forever, and your tax problem will only get worse if you do nothing or try to handle it yourself. It makes a big difference in who you call. So call the Taxpayer Hotline today for free information. 800-441-1943. 800-441-1943.
Brought to you by South Coast Tax.
Back to court today for the suspect in the massacre at Stoneman Douglas High.
Attorneys for accused school shooter Nicholas Cruz will ask a judge to preserve most of the evidence in the Valentine's Day massacre that claimed 17 lives. But those lawyers will not try to fight the proposed demolition of Building 12 at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School.
It's just a stark reminder of the horrific, detestable killings that went on that day.
Broward County Sheriff Scott Israel is among those hoping that Building 12 is replaced by a memorial to the students and teachers who died there. Jim Ryan, ABC News.
A woman from Oregon who survived driving off a 220-foot cliff in California is now recovering. Angela Hernandez was stuck for several days before Chelsea and Chad Moore found her.
He's like, no, did you hear that? And I was like, it's campers. And we turned around, and Angela was right there in the rocks.
Hernandez says she swerved to avoid a rabbit. She survived by using a radiator hose to tap water from a local stream. Amazon getting ready for the crush of orders later today on Amazon Prime Day. Amazon's Lauren Lynch.
We do a lot to prepare. We train associates. We make sure we've ordered all the things that are needed, like all the boxes, all that tape.
Amazon's promising 1 million deals this Prime Day. It lasts for 36 hours. Police in the town of Powell, Wyoming, looking for a pot prankster. Somebody put marijuana seeds into city-owned flower pots earlier this year. Yep. Unsuspecting city workers have been caring for those pot plants ever since. This is ABC News.
Don't sleep on today. There's a world to conquer. Don't sleep on yesterday. No need to dwell on the past. Sleep on tomorrow, the highest rated mattress on the internet. Tomorrow Sleep products are designed by the world's leading sleep experts for deep, uninterrupted sleep. Want to feel like you're sleeping in the clouds? For $125 off plus 2 free pillows, use promo code AWAKE2 at tomorrowsleep.com.
Well, with springtime here, head on over to Oakland Feed and Seed for the things you need. Things like grass seed and garden seed, 10-10-10 fertilizer and 17-17-17 fertilizer. Oakland Feed and Seed carries Kentucky 31 and Rebel Turf and 5-star blend grass seed. That'll look good, won't it? They'll weigh up garden seed by the ounce or by the pound. How much do you need? They'll weigh up grass seed by the pound. Whatever your needs are, Scott and his team at Oakland Feed and Seed will try their best to do it for you. Need strong weed killer? Get it by the quart, gallon, and this kills all. 2.5 gallons is only $49.99. Get rid of them quick. They have fish smocks, 100 count, $19.99. Why don't you come check Oakland Feed and Seed out and check prices? All your animal health needs, from dog shots to wormers. And don't forget to pick up some fire ant control, too. They have what you need at Oakland Feed and Seed, Oakland Road, Spindale, locally owned and locally run.
Make sure to have the umbrellas today. Mostly cloudy skies with scattered showers and thunderstorms during the afternoon and evening. Highs today in the upper 80s. Tonight, mostly cloudy with some evening thunderstorms. Low temperatures down into the low 70s. Tuesday, we'll have partly sunny skies with scattered showers and thunderstorms. High temperatures climbing into the low 90s. Wednesday, we'll have some more sunshine with a high temperature close to 90. For the North Carolina News Network, I'm meteorologist Amy Wilmoth in the Weather Center.
We're starting out with cloudy conditions this morning, mostly cloudy all day with some thunderstorms likely to develop this afternoon, and that's a 60% chance of that happening. Then looking toward the weekend on Thursday, partly cloudy with some isolated showers, only a 20% chance there Thursday night and Friday night. Then on Saturday it increases about 50-50 chance of some scattered showers on Saturday and again on Sunday. But today, thunderstorms likely to develop this afternoon, so take your umbrellas with you as you'll go out and about today. And that southwest wind from 7 miles per hour. And again, right now it is 72 degrees. Now I have these death announcements this morning. Lester Eugene Radford, age 85, of Forest City, died Friday, July 13th at Hospice of the Carolina Foothills. The funeral service will be conducted at 6 o'clock this evening at the Grace Chapel Foursquare Church of Forest City. Burial will follow in Rutherford County Memorial Cemetery. Family will receive friends 1 hour prior to service time at the church. Harrelson Funeral and Cremation Services has been entrusted with the arrangements for Lester Eugene Radford. Jimmy Nelson Lowry, age 72, of Ellenboro, died Wednesday at the Oak Grove Health Center in Rutherfordton. The funeral service will be conducted at 3 o'clock today at the Harrelson Funeral Chapel. Burial will follow in Rutherford County Memorial Cemetery. The family will receive friends 1 hour prior to service time at the funeral home. Harrelson Funeral and Cremation Services has been entrusted with the arrangements for Jimmy Nelson Lowry. Becky Ruff, age 79, of Spindale, died Saturday at Carolina's Medical Center in Charlotte. The family will receive friends from 1 until 2 o'clock Wednesday, July 18th, in the Family Life Center of Second Baptist Church of Rutherfordton. The funeral service will be at Second Baptist at 2 o'clock on Wednesday, July 18th. Burial will be at Eternal Hills Memorial Park. McMahon's Funeral Home and Cremation Services, in charge of the arrangements for Becky Ruff. Sherry Lynn Crawford McDowell, age 51, died Friday at Rutherford Regional Medical Center. The family will receive friends from 11 until 12 Tuesday at Fellowship Baptist Church. The funeral service will be at Fellowship Baptist Church at 12 noon Tuesday, July 17th, and burial will be at Fellowship Baptist Church Cemetery. McMahon's Funeral Home and Cremation Services, in charge of the arrangements for Sherry Lynn Crawford. Ronnie Michael Smith, age 72, passed away Thursday, July 12th at Spartanburg Regional Medical Center. A celebration of life will be announced at a later date, and Crow's Mortuary is in charge. Ronnie Michael Smith. Robert B. Thompson, Bobby, born in Richmond County, September the 10th, passed away July 13th at his home. No formal services will be held for Robert B. Thompson. Those are the death announcements we have this morning in house. For the complete information on these, tune in this morning, or others that may come in this morning at 11:30 and this afternoon at 5:10. As part of the afternoon report, we'll have the complete information on all of these as they become available to us. Braves had a good day yesterday. They beat the Diamondbacks 5-1. The game heard here on WCAB.
The Democrat Congressional Campaign Committee is responsible for helping Democrats win House races. Republicans have one, too. It's not that big a deal. This week, they held a training session in Washington for their new candidates. Entered the Godfather, AFL-CIO boss Richard Trumka, who gave the candidates a pep talk and a warning. Trumka told candidates they cannot count on union support just because there's a D after their name. He said the AFL-CIO will move heaven and earth for genuine allies, but union money will only go to candidates who push the union's agenda, including guaranteed pensions, expanding Social Security, universal health care, amnesty, and infrastructure spending. But the union's biggest test is whether candidates support something called the Workers' Freedom to Negotiate Act, also known as the Democrat Donation Protection Act. You see, until now, Democrats could count on big union money, but the cash spigot is down to a trickle thanks to the recent Supreme Court ruling getting rid of forced union dues. So the godfather, Trumka, is going to the mattresses because unions know their days are numbered. It's a beautiful thing, but like all leftists, they're not going to just go away, folks. They have to be defeated every election. There are a lot of warnings you don't want to miss, like a sign saying bridge out up ahead. But in the digital world, there may be no warning when it comes to cyber threats. That's why the new LifeLock identity theft protection now adds Norton Security. LifeLock uses proprietary technology to help detect threats to your identity, and Norton Security protects your devices from ransomware, emerging viruses, and other online threats. And if you have a problem, their agents will work with you to fix it. Now, of course, no one can stop every cyber threat or prevent all identity theft or even monitor all transactions in all businesses. But having new LifeLock with Norton means that they'll warn you about the threats you could otherwise miss on your own. Don't wait, folks. Join now. Get an extra 10% off your first year. Call 800-440-4833 or go to LifeLock.com and use the promo code RUSH for an extra 10% off.
WCAB has been serving the community with family-friendly radio programming for 50 years. Thank you, Rutherford County, for making WCAB your radio station of choice. Turn it up. WCAB 590 Rutherfordton.
Hi, I'm Colonel Greg Gatson, retired Army Colonel and former Garrison Commander of Fort Belvoir and proud U.S. veteran. I know from personal experience that the road to recovery can be difficult. If you've recently filed a VA disability claim and have to attend a VA claim exam, you've likely got questions. Search Compensation and Pension Exam on VA.gov for the answers you need and the benefits you've earned. Your VA claim exam. Know what's next.
Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs.
It's time for you to test drive the affordable, fuel-efficient Ford Fusion from Sisk Family Ford in Forest City. Family-owned Sisk Ford can put you into the car you want with a payment plan you can appreciate. If it's a truck you want, get the Ford truck that's breaking records in sales. Ask about why the sales department is being bragged on with each and every sale that they make. They love your business at Sisk Family Ford, and it shows. New and used automobiles and an award-winning service department makes Sisk Family Ford the choice for so many. Step up to Ford today. Sisk Family Ford, Oak Street, Forest City. Get ready for those hot summer months driving with a stop at RS Speedy Lube, Railroad Avenue. The Express Inspection Station gets you back on the road and keeps you legal. Speedy Lube has 2 lanes to serve you, gets you in and out in no time, and vacuum your car while the oil is being changed, air conditioner checked, transmission flushed, wiper blades replaced if needed, even a top-of-the-line car wash, all at RS Speedy Lube and Inspection Station, Railroad Avenue in Ruth. Take care of that car and have a safe trip.
William Ellsworth Lay is a name one would associate with a banker, successful merchant, or businessman. Chances are Elsie, as he was known, could have been any one of these 3, but he wasn't. As a young man, he started his chosen profession by doing some rustling, a holdup or 2, and even a little counterfeiting. Then he went to Utah and met up with a young outlaw by the name of George Leroy Parker, who became known as Butch Cassidy. Quickly, he became one of Butch's lieutenants, According to Butch, Elsie was the educated one of the Wild Bunch. Supposedly, Elsie planned most of the Wild Bunch's robberies. When Elsie wasn't helping out Butch, he found work with another famous outlaw gang led by Black Jack Ketchum. It was with Black Jack that things turned bad. The gang had held up a Colorado and Southern train, a job probably planned by Elsie, when 5 days later, on July 16, 1899, the posse caught up with them. A gun battle ensued in which Black Jack was mortally wounded and Elsie was shot through the chest and shoulder. Although Elsie escaped, a month later the posse found and captured him. In 1899, Elsie was sentenced to life imprisonment. 6 years later, when he helped quell a riot, Elsie was pardoned. After his release, Elsie went down to Mexico and dug up $58,000 in loot he had stashed there. For the next 28 years, Elsie stayed on the right side of the law. He spent his last years in Southern California. When he died, he was buried in Los Angeles' Forest Lawn Memorial Park Cemetery, a strange place for Butch Cassidy and Black Jack Ketchum's right-hand man to spend eternity. You've just heard another story from Chronicle of the Old West. I'm Dakota Livesay.
It's 7:16, time now to go to the phones and find out what's been happening over the weekend from the world of crime fighting. And we have Deputy Walker on the phone now from the Sheriff's Department to give us that update. Good morning. How are you doing?
Good, sir. Good morning to you.
What's on the report from the weekend?
Last 48 hours, the Sheriff's Office responded to 219 calls for service. 15 arrests were made, and the jail is currently housing 215 individuals. Starting with incident investigation reports, Joyce Hutchins reported an animal attack bite. Cliffside United Methodist Church reported a break and entering. David Kemp reported break and entering, felony larceny after break and entering. Joyce Lauder reported a felony break and entering and larceny after break and entering. Drop-in number 4 reported uttering Ford instruments, a fake $20 bill. On to arrest. Max Javier Trejos was arrested for unauthorized use of motor vehicle. Beverly Rowland arrested for resist, obstruct public officer. Justin Holland, failure to appear on a misdemeanor. Katie Carino, arrested for second-degree trespass. Casey Lane, arrested for misdemeanor larceny. Breonna Alexander, failure to appear on a misdemeanor. Michael Page, arrested for second-degree trespass, communicating threats, and failure to appear on a misdemeanor. Wendy Thomas, arrested for possession of stolen goods. Robert Epping, Jr., was arrested for possession with intent, manufacture, sale, deliver, Schedule 6 controlled substance, maintaining a place in dwelling, possessing Schedule 4 controlled substance. And that is all, sir.
Well, David, what can we do? Appreciate the report, and you be safe out there today.
I will. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Bye-bye. And we'll find out from Communications Center just how many calls they received and what they were all about coming up next.
Farm Bureau Insurance doesn't hire celebrities to push auto coverage. We think people might like to make decisions based on service and savings, not just because that guy from that show says it's a good idea. Instead of faces you know from your TV, we offer faces you know from your neighborhood, because we're headquartered in North Carolina with local agents right in your town. That's really the only thing we want to be famous for. North Carolina Farm Bureau Insurance, helping you is what we do best.
In Rutherford County, please call 287-2428.
North Carolina Farm Bureau Mutual Insurance Company, Farm Bureau Insurance of North Carolina, Inc., Southern Farm Bureau Life Insurance Company, Jackson, Mississippi, an independent licensee of the Blue Cross and Blue Shield Association.
In the Quaker State 400 race on Saturday, Martin Truex Jr. was the winner. He sure came out victorious on that race. And here's Laurel now with the 911 Communications Center report. Good morning, Laurel.
Good morning.
What's on your report?
In the past 48 hours, Rutherford County Sheriff's Office 911 Communications has processed 673 911 calls, administrative calls, which consisted of 57 for EMS, 18 for rescue, 219 for the Sheriff's Office, 114 for Forest City, 19 for Lake Lure, 67 for Rutherford, 74 for Spindale. Cliffside had a structure fire. Forest City had a motor vehicle accident. SDO had a structure fire and an appliance fire, assisted by Sandy Mush. And that's it.
Thanks so much. Have a great day.
You too.
Bye. Well, one thing is about a community like ours, we have companies like Henson Building Material that's been here a long, long time. They're part of the community. They give back to the community. They do a lot of civic things, civic-minded business, such as helping Habitat and a lot of others. And they have such a stellar history. That's one of the good things about Henson Building Material. A lot of things we could quote down. They got somebody that'll help you and ask you questions if you need it. They help you find something. They don't run away from you. If you need somebody, they're there. And they got a lot of inventory. And they got some great prices, too. They've been able to grow with our community. They've been growing over the years. Started out in 1938 as a sawmill, and now they're one of the major stores here in our area. We're so proud to have them here in our community. One of the things that makes them Henson Building Materials such a popular place to shop is their customer service, and you don't get that everywhere, do you? Darren Honeycutt is the manager over there, and his team have over 100 years of combined experience. There are a lot of things that I could tell you about at Henson Building Material, but better yet, why don't you stop in over there just to look around and go see their warehouse, their showroom there with their kitchens and lighting fixtures and all that. Henson Building Material, more than just a lumber yard. Open 7:30 to 5 Monday through Friday, 8 to 12 on Saturday. You'll find them willing and able and happy to help you with your dreams. Here's Ruby Taylor with the Danieltown SDO report. Ruby, good morning.
Good morning.
What's on your report?
Well, the fire department had 2 calls. One was to a structure fire, and the other one was appliance fire, and they were assisted by Sandy Mush. And I don't have any birthdays today, and the signs are in the boughs today and going to the rains tomorrow. And, Jim, that's all I got.
Thanks, Ruby. Have a good Monday.
You too.
Bye-bye. Washburn store over in Washburn community between Boston and Sunshine they have a new shipment of straw hats and Outback rough leather hats. You need to get just 1 or 2 of those, one for the entire family. If you're doing some outside work or love to walk out in the walking paths and going to the beach or the mountains, you need to get you one of these hats, and you'll find them available at Washburn store. They also have the electric and hand-turned ice cream freezers, perfect for this kind of weather. Overalls, honey, tomatoes, stick candy, wind chimes, and more we could go. Check on those hats and other things available at your friendly, historically significant store. That's Washburn General Store between Boston and Sunshine on the Boston Sunshine Highway. Let's check on now with Steve up at Rumbling Ball and see what's going on up there. Steve, how you doing?
I'm doing just fine, Jim. How are you doing this morning?
Doing fantastic.
Good. It's Monday, so you couldn't ask for more than that on Monday.
I'll tell you right down.
We had a really busy this weekend. I could tell by the condition of our dumpsters there. They're all packed. So we're of course, we didn't have many calamities. We had a close call, which was an odd incident. Was it Thursday? We received a call that to check on somebody, a welfare call we call it. Well, that person had been in the bathtub for 2 days and was passed out, and
oh no,
shallow breath. Well, anyway, the person was cared for and revived, and then across the street we had another one at the same time, and it was the same kind of incident. We had 2 people stranded in their bathtubs.
My goodness.
Elderly people, and at the same time, been there for days, so we're hopefully, and nobody's permanently harmed or whatever. We're thankful that we were able to.
Were they passed out during the two days?
Elderly, just weak, and couldn't get up kind of thing. I can't stress enough for people who have elderly and that don't live in the same town with them, elderly parents, to get those first alerts or whatever you call them, so they can hit the button if they can't get up.
Great idea.
Yeah, it's something that would have been valuable for these 2 cases, because we've had cases where they didn't make it. Nobody got there in time. But these 2 cases that happened at the same time was just a weird set of coincidences. But nevertheless, they're okay, and hopefully we learn from the mistakes.
Good, I hope so.
Yeah. Just have a setup, fail-safe setup for your elderly family members, where they can make the proper call if necessary. Other than that, we have been on go. No major problems to report. We're going to possibly have some heavy thunderstorms this afternoon. 74 degrees. It's pretty warm this morning.
It is indeed. And
muggy.
We can be getting some.
I feel those storms coming our way.
I believe they'll be here this afternoon.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens with what's coming.
All right, Steve. You enjoy your Monday, and I'll see you tomorrow.
Okay, Jim.
Thanks. Bye. 7:26 on this Monday morning. Right now it is 72 degrees, warming up to 86 with a heat index around 93 with some thunderstorms developing later today.
Gregory's Original Restaurant in the Park Lane Plaza is the perfect dining choice of Rutherford County. Greg offers all your favorite dishes. Try their delicious subs, grinders, pasta, chicken, burgers, fresh garden salads, and the most delicious steaks served with mushroom gravy or peppers and onions. Be sure to call on Gregory's for all your catering needs at 287-2171. Check out the website for menus and event information, www.gregorysoriginal.com. Gregory's in the Park Lane Plaza in Rutherfordton.
43 years experience behind the name, voted best of best 8 years. That's why folks depend on Hutchins Pest Control. You can call on Tim and his team for moisture control, waterproofing, mold remediation, air quality control, dehumidification, and of course, pest control, rats, fire ants, termites, wildlife removal, and so much more. Call them today for your free estimate. 287-5171. Get the job done by the professionals and relax. Hutchins Pest Control, honest, dependable, and on-time service.
Now we're checking up in Mount Vernon community, the Hudlow Fire District, and Bob Hodge. Good morning, Bob.
Well, good Monday morning.
How was your weekend, Bob?
Oh, weekend turned out good. We had a nice weekend up here. And we got a mostly cloudy morning up here this morning, though, so
yep.
Looked like we got a chance of rain today, but we need it. It's getting a little dry out there, so it wouldn't hurt to have a little rain there. So
it'd be nice to have the rain without the thunder and lightning, though, believe, don't you?
Yeah, that'd be nice, but it's going to hold the temperature down, too, so it ain't going to be too bad, don't look like.
I know it, that's right.
So that'd be nice there. And Jim, up here with the fire department, we had a call for a tree down on Centennial Road, and that's about it with the fire department. Seems like things are running along good up here for a Monday morning. And Jim, I hope you have a good day today.
Well, thanks, Bob. You too, and take care of yourself up there. We'll see you back here next time.
Okay.
Thanks, Bob.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Bob Hodge reporting out of Hudlow this morning. Hudlow Fire District. Well, when you have those dreams for a new carpet and floor covering, look no further than our friends at Southern Carpet, long-lasting tradition of quality. They have a storehouse full of your favorites: Armstrong vinyl, ceramic tile, Appalachian hardwood, Bruce hardwood, beautiful Burr carpet, and Tarkett flooring. It's on and on you could go. Just whatever you think might be best for your lifestyle, the coming and going at your house, your budget, they've got something to fit it. Go see Southern Carpet. You'll find them at 1512 West Main Street, right across the North State Gas Company. If you want to give them a call, it's 245-0310. And that website is southerncarpet.net, and you can also follow them on Facebook. More on hand, ready to install high-quality floor products than anybody else in the area. So when you're ready to make those dreams come true, go to the Dream Makers, the Tony family at Southern Carpet. You'll find the best in choices. It can be a tough call when it comes time to provide daycare services for an aging parent or loved one. Rutherford Life Care can be just what you're looking for. Rutherford Life Care offers adults a safe and fun place during the day for medical monitoring, nutritional meals, and daily activities. Rutherford Life is licensed by the state of North Carolina Division of Aging. Call them today and let them answer questions you may have. That's 288-1697, 288-1697. Rutherford Life offers a staff of professionals who show the love and compassion that you entrust your loved ones to. That's Rutherford Life Care Services, located on Thunder Road, Spindale. Again, that phone number is 288-1697. How long since you've had your eyes checked? Hadn't been too recent, huh? Well, let me suggest that you take care of that pretty soon, because I tell you, that's a vital part of our life. When your eyes vision starts going bad, it's a pretty traumatic experience. Check in with Tri-City Optometric Eye Care, Dr. Tevis over there would be glad to give you some assistance with that. They're taking new patients right now. Just call Tri-City Optometric Eye Care at 288-8662 for an appointment. He takes time to deal with these customers, answer their questions, and show them what's going on. Why don't you find somebody like that in your life? The friendly office staff will be glad to file your visit with Medicare, Medicaid, Blue Cross, United Healthcare, whatever you have. They'll be glad to work with you on that. Tri-City Optometric Eye Care, located at 337 Main Street in Rutherford, and over in Tryon area, they have an office there at 486 South Trade Street. If your vision is important to you, and I know it is, who you trust your vision care to should be important. Call Tri-City Optometric Eye Care. That phone number again is 288-8662. That's 288-8662. Now we're going over to Cherry Mountain Fire District, and Sue Price is on the phone. Good morning.
Good morning, Jim.
How you doing, Sue?
I'm doing good. Hope you are.
Yes, indeed.
Good. Had a good weekend, I guess.
Yeah, sure did. Had a lot of things going on. Played with the grandkids a lot this weekend, so they'll wear you out in a hurry, though, I'll tell you.
I bet. They have a lot of energy.
Well, they do. They sure do.
Let's see. I started out at 673 this morning, so it's warm out there, and it looks like we might be going to get some rain today. That'll be all right. I don't have any birthdays or anniversaries on my church calendar, and nothing on my personal calendar today. Fairview's got anniversary for Jamie and Anna Brackwell, so hope they'll have a good day today. And First Broad doesn't have anything today, so not a lot celebrating over here this morning, but we hope anybody that's having a birthday or anniversary will have a good day and enjoy their day. In my announcements tonight is the community club meeting at Golden Valley, and we're not going to be having a meal, we'll be having ice cream, so come on out if you're a member or want to be a member or just around in the neighborhood and enjoy some ice cream. Camp week was started yesterday up on the mountain, and I'm sure the kids are all excited and enjoying that, and we want to thank all the volunteers that help with that in whatever way they help. And so far, I guess that's the only announcements I have, Jim. It's just quiet and calm over here, looking for a good day, and I hope you'll have one.
Thanks very much, Sue. You enjoy your day as well, and I'll see you next time.
Okay, bye-bye.
The entire team at Crow's Funeral Home and Cremation Services can help you with options available. They will help you find a balance between the emotional, spiritual, and financial needs of your loved one. During this time, it's important to turn to someone you can trust and depend on. Crow's Mortuary and Crematory has a long history of trust and dependability. Crow's Mortuary and Crematory. That's 286-2304. Well, Farmer's Friend Feed, Seed, and Supply across the road over here, they got have your propane, so come get your tanks filled. Propane grill tanks, 20 pound, only $10.99. They have all your farm supplies. They have all your types of new and used farm equipment for you. Wood Batweek 180 bush hog, 15 foot, like new, $8,500. Fescue hay is $5 per square bale. Straw, $5 a bale. Extra large bundles of shavings, $4.50. Kills all, $47.99. Baler twine, they've got in plastic, 20,000 this week only, $21.99. Whiteside Road, Rutherford's where you'll find them. Farmer's Friend Feed, Seed, and Supply. Open Monday through Friday, 7:30 till 5:30. On Saturday, 7:30 until 2. You'll find them willing and able to help you find what you need. Rutherford Regional Health System now features its walk-in services at Forest City Family Care at 212 Allendale Drive, Forest City, just behind the Tri-City Mall. Those needing walk-in care enjoy the same great services, but now at the new location. They continue to operate Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. until 8 p.m. and on Saturdays from 8 a.m. until 6 p.m. The scope of services remain unchanged for the walk-in patients. When you don't have an appointment but need to be seen quickly, we hope you'll choose the walk-in services now located at the rear entrance of Forest City Family Care. Let's check in now up in Union Mills and get the report from Brenda Kelly. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you on this magnificent Monday morning?
Well, I'm doing good.
Feeling mighty fine?
Feeling mighty fine.
That's good.
Feel better all over than anywhere else?
I hear you. Has your family went back to New York yet?
No, they're going to be with us for a few weeks. They have gone to visit some friends down in Georgia, but they'll be back to us for another week. They're going to be here through probably through the first week of August.
Oh, well, that's good, isn't it?
Yeah,
You'll get used to them, won't want them to leave.
Well, now, let me think about that. Yeah,
the little ones anyway.
You're right. You're right. We love having them around. They're full of energy.
How old are the two little ones now?
The oldest one is 11, and the youngest one is 8.
Gosh, that's hard to believe. I can remember when both of them was born.
Yeah, I know.
Seemed like yesterday.
Amazing how fast they grow up.
I'm telling you, goodness. Well, let's see. I've got 70 degrees on the front porch. Went out just now, and it's beginning to rain a little bit up here.
Is it?
So, it's real cloudy, so I was going to go out and pick my blackberries. If it don't rain no more than it is right now, I'll go ahead and pick them anyway, but I'll get wet, but that's all right.
That's all right. It'll be worth it.
Yeah. So, and I don't have any birthdays on either one of my calendars today, so there's nobody celebrating. And in ways of announcements, the Union Mills Learning Center is having a summer reading program on Tuesdays from 10 a.m. till noon, and this is on the Hudlow Road in Union Mills. And tomorrow, on July the 17th, it's What's Your Mood? Then we got a country breakfast buffet Saturday, July the 28th, 7 to 10 a.m., White House Community Center on Painters Gap Road in Union Mills. Adults, $6. Children, 6 to 12, $3. Under 6, free, and they've got all kind of good food to eat, and you can rent their building for $50 to $75 per day. You can contact Maria Durkett at 828-288-6271 for available dates. And other than that, I don't have any announcements, but I went up and helped with Bible school at Macedonia Saturday. This little lady that I've just always thought the world of asked me back when they had memorial up there on the 14th of, not the 14th, the 4th Sunday in May. She said, we're getting ready for Bible school. If I can't find nobody to help me in the kitchen, will you help me? And I said, yes, if you can't find nobody. So guess what? They didn't find nobody. So I helped her in the kitchen, and I enjoyed it.
I bet you did. I bet you had a good time.
And everybody was glad to see me, so that was good. But I couldn't tell that little lady no. She was one of my special people up there. So
I bet that brought back memories for you, working in the kitchen, huh?
Oh, yeah, it did. I stayed in the kitchen a long time, and I'm still in the kitchen here at the house.
Yeah.
Just can't get out of it.
Well, maybe that's your calling.
Apparently it was. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed working at Fairhaven when I worked there. I enjoy people that have special needs.
Sure.
I always have, but that's because I had a little sister that had special needs, and I was just raised to be like that.
Well, there's a lot of needs out there that we need to take care of.
Yeah, they are. Mm-hmm. But I don't know of anything else going on so far, so it's just short, sweet, quiet, and cloudy and rainy.
Well, enjoy the best of it, and I'll see you tomorrow.
You have a good one. We'll catch you later.
Thanks, Brenda.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Brenda Kelly reporting out of Union Mills. We're checking in with Ellenboro here in just a moment.
The Recliner Center is happy to introduce new styles of Spring Air mattresses. Some come with the cool gel that you're going to love. Remember the days when you could flip your mattress? Well, Spring Air is now offering the flippable mattress. Check out these for a really great night's sleep. The Recliner Center is needing to make room for some new styles of lift chairs, recliners, and sofas, and you're going to get some special deals on the floor models and extra inventory in the store. Now, you always know you get the best deals in town at the Recliner Center, and now's the best time to go shopping. Check on the inventory of new recliners, sofas, and lift chairs coming in. Now, some of the styles have a new water-repellent fabric. Water beads up instead of soaking into the fabric. Leave it to the Recliner Center to offer you the best choices and best prices. Ask to see the new wall hugger style furniture. Hours are Wednesday through Friday 9 to 5 and Saturday 9 to 2. The Recliner Center on Cooper's Gap Road in Rutherfordton.
And now if we can get a man out of his recliner to talk to us, we'll be talking with the Ellenboro man, Luther Gilligan, about news from over there. How you doing this morning?
Hey, I'm doing great, having a good time, waiting on the rain.
It's coming.
Well, I don't know where it is or not. Looks like to me the clouds may be breaking up a little bit.
Well, for now.
Yeah, for now. Then it move back in again.
Yep.
But that's all right. We'll say it rains, then we'll get inside.
We've been there, done that.
We just go inside and drink coffee and watch the rain.
I like that.
It's quiet there this morning. Nothing going on, except I'm already out working, having a good time with it. But I say fire department, they only had 2 calls over the weekend, 2 medical calls. Other than that, they've been quiet. Just doesn't happen. Let's see, one wish happy birthday. Teresa Gaffney has one, and Victoria Wallace having a birthday, and also Hannah Scruggs and Janie Hufsticker. She's having a birthday today. So hope these people have a great day and enjoy their day. Jim, you have a great day up there. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
Thanks, Luther. Enjoy your Monday, and I'll see you tomorrow.
All right, take care now.
Bye. That leaves us time for birthdays and anniversaries for this 16th day of July, July 16th. So if you are celebrating, call yours into us now, and we put all those in the drawing for some delicious donuts from Granny B's. Granny B's delicious Daylight Donuts will be yours if you're the winner. Random drawing this morning. Well, from what I can read, and people tell me that untreatable hearing can be a large contributor of early dementia. It can cause early dementia if you have hearing that goes untreated, because it has a tendency to isolate yourself from people, and those things have effect on our mind. So if you're beginning to recognize hearing loss, do something about it real soon. Call Lisa Terry at Miracle Ear office at 368-4126 or 447-7716 and have that free hearing test and move forward from there. If it's something that you need to do further, then they'll help you walk through that process of decision making. If you don't need a hearing instrument, they certainly never force you into it under any circumstances. But don't let it go untreated. It can be one of the early causes of early dementia. Miracle Ear. She's in the Forest City office Tuesdays and Thursdays, other times by appointment, and she has an office in Shelby also. Miracle Ear. Find out more about that miracle in Miracle Ear.
Here's what our customers think about McCurry Deck Chevrolet Buick GMC.
I love my McCurry Deck Buick.
I love my McCurry Deck Chevrolet.
We love our McCurry Deck GMC. We guarantee you'll love McCurry Deck Chevrolet Buick GMC for a city.
I am definitely a McCurry Deck customer for life.
I love the price and the McCurry Deck Customer for Life Rewards program. It gives you up to $3,000 or more in rewards.
Take the easy drive to savings. McCurry Deck for a city. Discover the rewards of being a customer for life.
Well, you can enjoy these days of July with a stop in at Drop In. Enjoy sausage biscuits this morning, only $1.59, or 2 of them for $3. Gravy biscuits, only $1.49, great deal. 2 hunks of Hunt Brothers pizza for only $5. All 15-count Coke products, $3.99, in flavors of the new Credenton's energy drink, Bang 2. It's called Bang, 2 12-ounce Bangs for only $4. This heat can really get to dangerous levels at times, so you need to really stay hydrated. It's easy to get outside doing something and forget about it, but stay hydrated. Drop-In Stores has ATM for your convenience 7 days a week. Stop it over there any time. The Drop-In has your summer drinks taken care of. So come on, drop in at the Drop-In.
I told my friend about Olmsted Plumbing, and boy, was she happy.
What did she have to say?
I told her to call 245-7302, and they would get right out there.
And did she say she would
I told her to ask around. Homeowners, builders, and everybody likes Olmsted. Eric and Chad Olmsted and their team understand the homeowners' needs, and I like that.
They have an inventory of replacement parts and specialized equipment and tools for any job.
I told her that, too.
What was that number again?
245-7302. That's 245.
Yeah, I got it. 245-7302. Olmsted Plumbing. That's really something to crow about. It's the Daylight Donuts from Granny B's in Spindale. Get yours today while they're fresh. They're good. They're delicious. It's Daylight Donuts. It's something to crow about. Happy birthday. Well, happy birthday to John Bennett Sr. over in Rutherfordton. He's celebrating a birthday today. Also on the birthday list is Ben Burnett of Ellenborough, 20 years old. Sherry Bergen having a birthday. Amanda Morrow, 39, of the Chase community, had a birthday yesterday. Troy and Brenda Dalton of Forest City had an anniversary yesterday. Wynell Willard, 58, over in Forest City. And Lillian Calvert of Forest City also celebrating a birthday today. So we'll find out in just a moment who's going to win those Daylight Donuts from Granny B's in just a moment. Our Daylight Donuts from Granny B winner this morning was Ben Burnett of Ellenborough, 20 years old. He's won the donuts, so we'll have a certificate right here for him to stop by and pick that up.
My wife and I are going through that time in life when we are trying to get our 4 children through college without being up to our neck in debt. Neither do we want our children owing as much on their school bill as a new starter house would cost. We strongly believe in higher education for our children. Therefore, we struggle with how much should they be expected to provide on their own and how much can we help them. This subject brings to mind several cute dialogues between college students and their parents. One young college student wrote the following: "Dear Dad, no mun, no fun, your son." The father responded with, "Dear son, too bad, so sad, your dad." Another enterprising college student wrote, "Dear Mom and Dad, I haven't heard from you in a long time. Please send a check so that I'll know that you are all right." Teaching a good work ethic is important. It is possible for a couple to be incredibly hard workers themselves and yet raise lazy children. Taking over an increasing amount of one's personal support is an important lesson in moving into adult life. Children that provide at least part of the funds for the professional training seem to take more pride in their accomplishments. Too many handouts often make it difficult for children to transition into adult life. This is Bill Hostler with today's key to confident living.
Again, the Daylight Donut winner this morning was Ben Burnett of Ellenborough, 20 years old. He's won the Daylight Donuts this morning. We'll have that certificate right here for him. Coming up next hour, of course, on Monday mornings, we always like to find out where some job opportunities are for you. So we'll have a job market report coming up right here, and we hope you'll find a job.
Little dreamer, dream on. Dream on, little dreamer, dream on. I get a heart full of butterflies looking into your dreamy eyes. Dream on, little dreamer, dream on. Dream on, little dreamer, dream on. Dream on, little dreamer, dream on. Dream about a love so true. Dream about how I love you. Dream on, little dreamer, dream on. You know I love you, I love you, I need you so bad. Each night I realize when you close your dreamy eyes. Dream on, little dreamer, dream on. Dream on, little
NCN News. I'm Mike Rayleigh. A manhunt is underway in Colwell County after a deputy was seriously injured after being shot last night. WSOC reporter Dave Faraday is at the scene.
Being told the deputy was shot during a traffic stop and the suspect took off in a blue Toyota sedan. Investigators say the deputy was wearing a protective vest at the time of the shooting, but was struck below that vest. He was airlifted to the hospital in Charlotte.
The meeting between President Trump and Russian President Vladimir Putin is underway in Helsinki. Before the meeting, President Trump told reporters and Vladimir Putin that he really thinks the world wants to see the U.S. and Russia get along.
We are the two great nuclear powers. We have 90% of the nuclear, and that's not a good thing. It's a bad thing. And I think we hopefully can do something about that because it's not a positive force. It's a negative force.
CBS News Chief White House correspondent Major Garrett says our European allies have their concerns about the meeting.
Having been in Brussels at the NATO meetings, some diplomats there were concerned about what might come from that hour-and-a-half one-on-one meeting, where Putin might drive a harder bargain than President Trump is capable of deflecting. No one knows what's going to come of it, but there is some anxiety in Europe that President Putin, in that one-on-one encounter, may get the best of the American president.
A statue of an Indian chief was removed from an Asheville auto dealership over the weekend. The statue of Chief Pontiac, an 18th century Ottawa chief, stood in front of Harry's on the Hill for decades. Bo Taylor, a Native American from Cherokee, tells WLOS he's glad the statue came down, but there's more important things to worry about.
When we did something, there was always a meaning behind it. There was always a reason. It wasn't to sell cars.
Winston-Salem police say they were called to a drive-through shooting at Cookout on Sunday. Officers say Gabriel Perel was suffering from gunshot wounds in the neck and head. He was transported to a hospital. You're listening to NCN News.
Attention football fans, the 2018 ACC Preview Magazine is almost here and is available for pre-order right now at ACCSports.com. Get your football fix before the season starts with predictions from the experts, recruiting news, and rankings of the best ACC players and teams. No other magazine dedicates 10 pages to each ACC school, each jam-packed with stats and information. Pre-order your copy today by going to ACCSports.com and clicking on the pre-order banner.
Sometimes the simplest things can make the biggest difference. An extra pair of hands, a smile, or a shoulder. At North Carolina Farm Bureau Insurance, we feel the same about home and auto coverage, affordable rates, trusted service, and local agents. After all, making one simple difference in your life helps you make a big difference in another's. Farm Bureau Insurance. Helping you is what we do best.
A major shift in the American policy in Afghanistan. The Trump administration has told its top diplomats to seek direct talks with the Taliban. CBS News military consultant Jeff McCausland, a retired Army colonel, tells us
the United States has avoided direct talks with the Taliban in the past for fear that this would undermine the legitimacy of the Kabul government and has always insisted that these be three-way conversations. But now it fears that the Taliban is still making progress, has stubbornly insisted that the United States conduct these direct talks.
It's being called one of the largest drug busts in North Carolina history. New Hanover County investigators say $2 million worth of fentanyl, heroin, and marijuana are now off the streets. Sheriff Ed McMahon.
As far as we can tell, this is one of the largest seizures in the state. And although the dealers, we can't tie them to active gang members, we know that they were selling this to local gangs that are in our area.
A teen suffered minor injuries Sunday after she fell off a cliff at Eno Rock Quarry, plummeting several feet into the water below the popular swimming spot in Orange County. She's expected to be okay. The fourth Amazon Prime Day begins this afternoon. CBS's Diane King Hall.
Last year's Prime Day grew by 60% from the previous year. It surpassed sales from Black Friday and Cyber Monday. This year's Prime Day will last 36 hours, a few hours longer than last year. The price of an Amazon Prime subscription is now $119. Amazon is promising $1 million million deals, which would be the most ever.
One big perk of going to the beach at Oak Island is free parking. Many people take full advantage of it, but it could become a thing of the past. If the town of Oak Island has its way, paid parking could be the beach town's future. Angie Rush tells WWAY News parking is currently easy.
And a really convenient experience.
Thank you for making WCAB your radio station of choice. Check us online at www.wcab59.com.
From ABC News, I'm Karen Travers in Helsinki, where President Trump this hour is meeting one-on-one with Russian President Vladimir Putin. The two presidents, seated side by side in front of American and Russian flags, made brief comments to reporters, but they did not take questions. President Trump outlined his agenda.
We have a lot of good things to talk about and things to talk about. We have discussions on everything from trade to military to missiles to nuclear to China we'll be talking a little bit about China.
But it was notable what Mr. Trump did not say. No mention of Russia's election meddling or Syria or Russia's annexing of Crimea. The president reiterated that U.S.-Russia relations are not great, and he's looking to fix that. One way he started to do that by congratulating Putin for hosting a successful World Cup and complimenting the Russian team for their surprise success. I'm ABC's Karen Travers in Helsinki. Now with more, here's Sherry Preston.
The summit also coming against the backdrop of special counsel Robert Mueller indicting 12 Russian officials on charges of interfering with the U.S. 2016 election. Protesters again on the streets of Chicago after a police officer shot and killed an African-American man over the weekend. Body cam video shows the victim, Harith Augustus, running away from police and appears to show a gun on his waistband. More protests are expected today. The teenager accused in the Parkland massacre in Florida is back in court. Here's ABC's Jim Ryan.
Investigators have said that shortly after his capture, 19-year-old Nicholas Cruz confessed to killing 14 students and 3 staff members at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School. His attorneys want Judge Elizabeth Sherrod to keep the entire confession from being made public. The defense insists the publication of the statement to police would jeopardize their client's chances of getting a fair trial.
Members of the House Judiciary Committee will question former FBI lawyer Lisa Page today about the anti-Trump text messages that she exchanged during the campaign. You're listening to ABC News.
Do you owe the IRS more than $10,000 in taxes? The government now has tax debt relief programs in place, and you have rights. Call tax representation today. Join satisfied clients like Victoria.
I owe the IRS $32,000. They accepted $300.
She saved $31,700. Leroy owed $21,000.
The IRS accepted $500, and I saved $20,500.
Results may vary, but tax representation can help you. Has the IRS threatened to freeze your bank accounts, take your home, your cars, and garnish your wage? You don't have to fear the IRS any longer if you call tax representation. We are the industry experts with negotiating with the IRS, and one of the very few that has an A rating with the Better Business Bureau. We'll contact the IRS the same day, putting a stop to bank levies and wage garnishments. Call the tax representation hotline at 800-295-1046. Call 800-295-1046 today. That's 800-295-1046.
The shopping spree on Amazon for Prime Day starts in a few hours. ABC's Alex Stone takes us inside one of Amazon's big centers just outside Seattle.
This is one of Amazon's biggest days, along with Cyber Monday. Inside this 850,000 square foot building, which stretches several city blocks, there are robots scurrying around on their own, hauling items that have been ordered. Teams of human workers collate the orders in yellow bins. A second team boxes the orders and sends them out. It is a carefully choreographed dance that goes on inside this building 20 hours a day.
Amazon's promising 1 million deals over its 36-hour Prime Day. More Americans than ever say they are aware of climate change. Gary Langer, head of Langer Research Associates, he has the numbers on a new ABC News poll.
74% of Americans in this survey recognize that the world's temperature has been slowly rising over the last 100 years, with 8 in 10 saying human activity is at least halfway responsible. 6 in 10 now say the government should do a great deal or a lot to try to deal with global warming, a new high in the past decade. A mere 10% say the government, in fact, is doing that much now.
CBS apologizing after a manager at a Chicago drugstore called the police on a woman in a fight over a coupon. Camilla Hudson says she tried to use a coupon and then fired up her cell phone camera when manager Maury Matson called the police. This is ABC News.
It's time to join the millions of people using Zoom video conferencing. Turn any size conference room, huddle room, or executive office into a Zoom room with flawless HD video, crystal clear audio, and instant wireless sharing. It'll even work with your existing hardware. Start your meetings with a single touch or use Zoom's new voice command feature. Hey Zoom, start meeting. Huddle happy. Visit zoom.us to set up your free Zoom room trial today. That's zoom.us. Zoom video conferencing.
I'm Sherry Preston.
Stop by the famous Jesse James Railroad Express Railroad Avenue in Rutherford. Load up on delicious burgers, club sandwiches, hot dogs, fresh salads, taco salads, chicken or tuna plates, and of course, refreshing ice cream and donuts. Come early and enjoy a big express breakfast. Everything made to order fresh every day. They're open Monday through Saturday from 8 to 4. Railroad Express has been named the best coffee and burger shop in Rutherford County. Stop by today and enjoy a Railroad Express dining experience. All aboard the Railroad Express, Railroad Avenue in Rutherford. And Mondays only, mention this ad and get a regular hot dog with mustard and onions, only 99 cents. Mondays only.
And, of course, that's today, so stop by Jesse James' place out there and get that Monday special. Tell them you heard about it here on WCAB.
Make sure to have the umbrellas today. Mostly cloudy skies with scattered showers and thunderstorms during the afternoon and evening. Highs today in the upper 80s. Tonight, mostly cloudy with some evening thunderstorms. Low temperatures down into the low 70s. Tuesday, we'll have partly sunny skies with scattered showers and thunderstorms. High temperatures climbing into the low 90s. Wednesday, we'll have some more sunshine with a high temperature close to 90. For the North Carolina News Network, I'm meteorologist Amy Wilmoth in the Weather Center.
Making plans for the weekend, well, looks like Friday partly cloudy with only a 20% chance of scattered showers on Friday. It'll be around 85 for the daytime high. Then on Saturday, partly cloudy with scattered showers, about a 50-50 chance of that, 86 for the daytime high. Then on Sunday, 40% chance of scattered thunderstorms. So we got some pretty good weather, and we'll anticipate some clearing as well throughout the week. But right now it's 73 degrees and cloudy. We've had reports of some rain, light rain falling in some sections of the county, but here we're still high and dry. Now let's head to the phone. Say we have Terry Thomas on the phone this morning to give us some job opportunity information. Terry, how you doing this morning?
Just fine, and you?
I'm doing well. Hope you had a good weekend.
Yes, sir.
Good. Tell us where some jobs are.
Okay. We are going to start in the Forest City area. We have a uniform security specialist position. This job requires a high school diploma and at least 2 years of security work, and this job pays $15 an hour. We have a plant maintenance for an industrial plant. This job requires a high school diploma, and it pays $61,000 up to $78,000 a year, depending upon experience. We also have another maintenance position for the data center. This job requires a high school diploma and at least 4 years of maintenance experience, and you must have the universal CFC certification. Also in the Forest City area, we have an assembly technician position. This job requires 6 months of manufacturing or assembly work, and it pays $11 an hour. We also have a mobile sales associate. This job requires 1 year of sales, a high school diploma, and it pays $18,000 to $20,000 a year, depending upon experience. Over in the Rutherford area, we have a behavioral therapist positions. This job requires a master's degree and at least 2 years experience, and you must be licensed in the state of North Carolina as a clinical social worker or psychologist or marriage and family therapist. Over in the Cliffside area, we have a utility inspection position. This job requires a high school diploma or GED, and it pays $11.50 an hour. Over in the Columbus area, We have a training associate position. This job requires a high school diploma and at least 3 years of training experience, and the pay depends upon experience. Also in the Columbus area, we have an operations services supervisor position. This is for a bank. You must have a high school diploma and at least 4 years of banking experience, and the pay depends upon experience. And over in the Saluda area, we have a housekeeping aide position. This job requires a high school diploma, and it pays $9.25 an hour. And these are just a few of the jobs that we have available at the Rutherford County NC Works Career Center. We are located at 223 Charlotte Road, Rutherfordton. For more information or these or other positions, you can call us at 286-3042, or you can go on our website at www.ncworks.gov.
Terry Thomas, thank you so very much for this information. Well, we look forward to having you each Monday morning, and we'll see you again next week.
It's my pleasure.
Thanks. Bye-bye. And there are opportunities. Just go search it out and find something that fits you. But key point is there are jobs out there for workers are needed just about every place, from manufacturing to restaurants to fast foods to just about anything. There are jobs that are open for you. It is a time for just about anybody can find something right now. 11 minutes after 8 o'clock. Congratulations to Ben Burnett of Ellenboro. Ben's 20 years old. He won the Daylight Donuts this morning from Grady Beast, and we're happy about that. And we welcome you to hang around with us. There are no Braves game tonight. The Braves they're all on All-Star break, so no game tonight or tomorrow night. But they will pick up later on in the week. We have an Owls game on Wednesday and Thursday night. Owls Martinsville on Wednesday and High Point on Thursday. So that's a couple of good Owls games scheduled for this week. All right, we'll get back with some news from here and there in just a moment.
Reaching 10 counties from the county seat of Rutherford. This is the mighty 590 WCAB Rutherfordton.
Washburn and Dorsey Funeral and Cremation Service clings to the traditional while going beyond the traditional with newer innovations such as their website obituaries. Funeral director and owner Kent Dorsey, along with staff members Bob Billingsley, Randy Bostic, Michael Sursland, and Justin Moore, invite you to see their obituaries online at www.washburndorsey.com, along with the online guest book for each service. To access obituaries for Washburn and Dorsey Funeral and Cremation Service, go to www.washburndorsey.com.
Some other stories this morning we're looking at. Daily Courier is reporting about 3 taken to the hospital after a wreck on Friday morning. 3 vehicles collided at the intersection of Withrow Road, Callahan-Coon Road, and the former Kmart Drive in Spindale in front of the Rutherford County EMS station. Transported to the hospital were Betty Webster of Miller Street in Spindale, Sherry Ledford of Highview Street, Forest City, and Rashid Hamilton of Hudlow Road, reported Sergeant Joey Vaughn of the Spindale Police Department. Vaughn said a Ford car driven by Ledford traveled into the path of another 4-door vehicle driven by Webster. He said Ledford either failed to stop at the stop sign at Kmart Drive or she looked and tried to beat the other car when they collided. Webster was traveling north on Oakland Road. The Ford was T-boned in the passenger side by the Webster vehicle. The energy of the 2 vehicles caused the Ford to collide with the commercial Chevrolet box truck driven by Michael Sheehan of Forest City. The car's hood ran under the box truck, coming to a stop at the front windshield, according to Vaughn. Sheehan was not injured. Ledford and Hamilton were entrapped, and Spindale Fire Department had to use the jaws of life to free them all, removing both doors on the right side of the vehicle. As far as we know, there were no serious injuries with anybody, Vaughn said. We're concerned about Hamilton because he was on the side that was hit. Hamilton was the victim in a shooting in Forest City on June 18th when he was struck in the pelvic area with a bullet. The suspected shooter remains at large. Also assisting at the scene were Rutherford County EMS, Rutherford County Sheriff's Department, and Traffic Control. No charges were filed by Vaughn. The wreck was the second in less than 24 hours where 3 vehicles collided and there was an entrapment. Forest City Fire and Rescue had to use the jaws of life Thursday afternoon on College Avenue to free a wrecked victim. 3 people also went to the hospital in that Thursday wreck. So several bad accidents happening around the area. Other news from here and there this morning, the Chesney community came together on Saturday to help a woman in need of a kidney. Organizers planned a full morning of Run to Race money. All money raised is going to help Kiki Miller with her medical bills and expenses. She has been on dialysis since 2012. She's going through stage 5 kidney failure and is looking for a kidney donor. Saturday morning, her family and friends, some as far away as Texas, walked or ran a 5K and did Zumba. Her family describes Kiki as strong and full of grace. Kiki says she is relying on God and her community of support to get through the days until she finds a match for her new kidney. So hopefully she'll get that real soon. A driver has been charged with DUI after a crash on US 29 left one person dead and another hurt early Sunday morning in that Spartanburg County accident. South Carolina Highway Patrol said the 26-year-old Jose Valdez of Spartanburg was driving an SUV when he rear-ended a moped at about 1:45 a.m. near Hayden Heights Road. Moped driver and his passenger were thrown from the bike. The passenger died at the scene of the wreck, according to troopers. The coroner has identified the victim as 46-year-old Rochelle West of Spartanburg. The driver was hurt. His condition was not known at the time. Highway Patrol says neither was wearing a helmet at the time of the crash. Valdez was arrested and been charged with DUI, resulting in a death, and DUI resulting in great bodily injury. Meanwhile, over in Kenly, North Carolina, a North Carolina woman is dead after her motorized wheelchair got stuck on the track while she crossed the railroad track and she was hit by a freight train. Media organizations said it happened shortly after midnight Friday in Kenly, about 45 miles east of Raleigh. A police spokesman said either the 40-year-old woman's wheelchair battery died or its wheels snagged on the tracks. Officials say the victim was paralyzed from the waist down. She was identified pending notification of her family. Police said the northbound CSX train was traveling from Florence, South Carolina to Richmond, Virginia. Midnight Friday, and she was on a railroad track in a wheelchair. I don't understand why, but a deputy was shot and injured during a traffic stop in Caldwell County Sunday night. The shooting happened around 11:30 on Sherrill Road near Pisgah Church Road. Deputies say the deputy was wearing a protective vest, but when he was shot, he was hit just below the vest. The deputy was flown to Carolina's Medical Center in Charlotte for treatment. Suspect vehicle is described as a blue Toyota sedan. The SBI is seeking assistance in this investigation. Officials did not release the names of the deputy injured, but say he has been with the Caldwell County Sheriff's Office for just over a year. Well, we've been hearing bear stories all along. Bears will do just about anything to get their paws on a snack, as one woman in Georgia discovered Tuesday. Carrie Watts was working as a caretaker at a house on Lake Burton near the North Carolina border when she noticed movement outside. At first she thought it was the homeowner's black cat, but it turned out to be a black bear who had climbed into her van through an open window. I panicked. I started screaming. I didn't know who to call, but didn't know how to get it out, she said. Bear chowed down on Watts' lunch and a sandwich, some chips, and a cookie, and rummaged around inside the vehicle, tearing up some paperwork and trashing her kid's car seat. Watts told Fox 5 the bear seemed to be in no hurry, hanging around for about 2 hours, despite her efforts to scare it off with the car alarm. Finally, the bear became startled by the sound of a truck and climbed out of the van and up a tree. It even tried to take Watts' purse with it, but dropped it on the ground. Watts warned others not to leave the windows down if they're in an area, especially if they might have food or crumbs inside the vehicle. Bears clearly have a knack for scouting people's food whenever they can. Earlier this month, Hungry Bear in North Carolina sniffed out a box of donuts some teenagers left in their garage while carrying groceries into the house. The bear discovered within about 4 minutes and proceeded to chow down on these 3 bear claws and a crueler food for them while she was in taking care of somebody. She absolutely just found a bear stealing her lunch. All right, that's some of the stories from here and there this morning. It's 20 minutes after 8 o'clock. That Sheriff's Report is coming up in just a moment.
Hello, this is Dwayne Hunt with Insurance Service Associates. Are you on disability? Or maybe you're on Medicare? Or maybe both? Come see me, Dwayne Hunt, at Insurance Service Associates about a Medicare Advantage product brought to you by Humana. Please give me a call, 245-5301 at Insurance Service Associates, 127 East Trade Street, Forest City.
More than 1 million Americans have heart attacks each year. And if you or a loved one experiences symptoms of a heart attack, every second matters. That's why the emergency department at Rutherford Regional Health System is a chest pain accredited facility. What does that mean to you? It means quality care here at home that could save precious seconds when treating the symptoms of heart attacks. To learn more about Rutherford Regional and its commitment to safe quality care, visit myrutherfordregional.com.
Hey, this is Brittany from the gift shop at Smith's Drugs of Forest City. Come see me for all your vacation needs, including sunscreen, sun hats, sunglasses, bug spray, and stylish summer clothing. I'm excited to tell you we have new summer sandals and booties. See you soon.
Now here is Deputy Walker with our Sheriff's Report recorded earlier for broadcast at this time. Deputy?
Last 48 hours, the Sheriff's Office responded to 219 calls for service. 15 arrests were made, and the jail is currently housing 215 individuals. Starting with incident investigation reports, Joyce Hutchins reported an animal attack bite. Cliffside United Methodist Church reported a break and entering. David Kemp reported break and entering, felony larceny after break and entering. Joyce Lauder reported a felony break and entering and larceny after break and entering. Drop-in number 4 reported uttering Ford instruments, a fake $20 bill. On to arrest. Max Javier Trejos was arrested for unauthorized use of motor vehicle. Beverly Rowland arrested for resist, obstruct public officer. Justin Holland, failure to appear on a misdemeanor. Katie Carino, arrested for second-degree trespass. Casey Lane, arrested for misdemeanor larceny. Breonna Alexander, failure to appear on a misdemeanor. Michael Page, arrested for second-degree trespass, communicating threats, and failure to appear on a misdemeanor. Wendy Thomas, arrested for possession of stolen goods. Robert Epping, Jr., was arrested for possession with intent, manufacture, sale, deliver, Schedule 6 controlled substance, maintaining the place and dwelling, possessing Schedule 4 controlled substance. And that is all, sir.
Reaching 10 counties from the county seat of Rutherford. This is the mighty 590 WCAB, Rutherfordton.
We have an update on sports coming up here in just a couple of minutes, and we'll have another look at that, the weather forecast and Word of Faith responds at 8:30 here live in the studios of WCAB.
NCN Sports. I'm Josh Zach. For only the second time, France is the champions of the World Cup. They defeated Croatia 4-2 in Moscow.
It's already being called one of the most exciting World Cup finals of the modern era.
France are world champions!
France 4, Croatia 2. France took the lead after 18 minutes, but Croatia seemed the better side. Croatia had possession of the ball 66% of the time. The jubilant French national coach said his players showed great mental agility, but conceded they did not play a great match. Well, try telling that to the thousands of ecstatic French celebrating on the streets of Paris. Larry Miller, CBS News.
In England, Novak Djokovic defeated first-time finalist Kevin Anderson in straight sets on Sunday to capture the Wimbledon title for the fourth time. It's his first major in more than 2 years. He struggled with an elbow injury, and it's forced him out of the top 20 for the first time in more than a decade. Djokovic on Sunday said Wimbledon is a special place to make a comeback.
I couldn't pick the better place, to be honest, in the tennis world to peak. Wimbledon has been always a very special tournament to me and to many players, obviously.
On the links, Michael Kim shot a final round 66 to win the John Deere Classic by a record-setting 8 strokes. Kim finished at 27 under, breaking Steve Stricker's tournament record from 2010 by 1 shot for his first PGA Tour victory. With yesterday's win, Kim qualified for next week's British Open at Carnoustie. But in his post-match interview, he said he was thinking not about the British, but about another tournament.
You know, honestly, I wanted to look up if this tournament was going to get me into the Masters so bad, but I just tried my best not to look into it.
Bronson Burgoon, Francesco Molinari, Joel Domlin, and Sam Ryder finished in a 4-way tie for second at 19 under. This is NCN Sports.
At AT&T, we believe that access to affordable home internet brings you incredible opportunities. You can enjoy the power to explore a digital world of possibilities and connect with family, friends, and the things that matter most. That's why there's access from AT&T. If a member of your household is a SNAP participant, you may qualify for home internet at a discounted rate of $10 a month. No commitment, no deposit, no installation fee. Plus, get an in-home Wi-Fi gateway at no extra cost. Call 1-855-220-5211 or visit att.com/aware to learn more.
SNAP refers to the Federal Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program. Pricing excludes tax. Service will include a monthly data allowance depending on the type and speed of service you receive. If you exceed your monthly data plan allowance, you will be automatically charged $10 for each 50 gigabytes of data usage in excess of your data plan, even if less than 50 gigabytes is used. For details about data allowances, go to att.com/internet-usage. Wi-Fi enabled device required. Other restrictions apply.
In baseball, Xander Bogaerts homered in his first at-bat a day after a walk-off grand slam, and he drove in 2 more runs as the Boston Red Sox edged the Blue Jays 5-2 Sunday. They entered the All-Star break with their best record since 1949. It was their 12th win in 13 games. NBC Sports is going with an all-analyst lineup headlined by Dale Earnhardt Jr. The network will use 3 analysts in the broadcast booth for next week's NASCAR Cup race at New Hampshire. Former NHL goalie Ray Emery died in a swimming accident over the weekend in his hometown of Hamilton, Ontario. Police received a call after 6 in the morning that a swimmer did not surface. Niagara police assisted Hamilton PD in the search for Emery's body. It was recovered Sunday afternoon. The 35-year-old played 11 seasons with the Ottawa Senators, Philadelphia Flyers, Chicago Blackhawks, and Anaheim Ducks. Josh Zach, NCN Sports.
Make sure to have the umbrellas today. Mostly cloudy skies with scattered showers and thunderstorms during the afternoon and evening. Highs today in the upper 80s. Tonight, mostly cloudy with some evening thunderstorms. Low temperatures down into the low 70s. Tuesday, we'll have partly sunny skies with scattered showers and thunderstorms. High temperatures climbing into the low 90s. Wednesday, we'll have some more sunshine with a high temperature close to 90. For the North Carolina News Network, I'm meteorologist Amy Wilmoth in the Weather Center.
It's cloudy here in the foothills, and we're 74 degrees. Looking for a high today around 86 with that heat index around 93. Looking toward the weekend on Friday, it looks like partly cloudy with only a 20% chance of scattered showers, which is pretty good for us. Highs around 85. Then on Saturday, 50-50 chance of more scattered showers with highs around 86 with that heat index around 91. And again, currently it's 74 under cloudy skies. This is WCAB Rutherfordton, serving the foothills of the Carolinas. Welcome to the Word of Faith Responds. This series of programs will address the issues concerning the negative news reports. This program is paid for by Word of Faith, and the views expressed on this program are not necessarily the views of the management and staff of WCAB. Now here is Word of Faith Responds.
Good morning. It's so good to be with you this morning. We're so excited to share with you what Jesus has done in our lives. And we invite you at the beginning of the program to jot down our website, wordoffaithfellowship.org. You can go to our website and look at the testimonies, the radio programs that have been archived, and listen to what the members say about their life, about what happened to them at the Word of Faith Fellowship, and what's gone on in their lives when they've attended the church. It's really a blessing. So we invite you to go there and listen to the programs. Today, I have someone very special with me. His name is Todd Reynolds. I'm Carol Reynolds. He's been my husband for almost 45 years, and we're going to share with you our testimony, what happened in our life. We were a couple of rebels in the 70s, going all the way back there, and Jesus Christ put his hand on our life and changed our lives. And we miraculously came from the West Coast, from the state of Oregon, all the way to North Carolina. And we're going to share today that journey and what happened in our lives and how God led us every step of the way.
Amen.
And you want to start, Todd?
Okay. Good morning. I was born in Portland, Oregon. And when I was 5, my parents decided to move to a little coastal town in Oregon. My dad had a very prosperous distribution business, but he decided he wanted to live at the coast, so he sold his half of the business to his partner and bought a route at the coast. So I was pretty much raised in a little coastal town in Oregon, right on the ocean. They bought a beautiful home right on the ocean, right at the beach, and
that's when his businesses began to fail at that time.
Well, at that point, yeah, and then it was some good years, and then his business started to fail, and started drinking, and he was turned into really towards the end he was an alcoholic, and so
that was really part of when we met each other. Yeah. Your dad was drinking very heavily at that time, and it was so devastating in the family. You're with your brothers.
Yes, I have 3 brothers, and so trying to get to the point.
Well, during that time period, when we were in high school together, met each other.
Yes, when I was going into high school, I saw Carol for the first time. She was when she was 14. Her parents moved to Seaside from the Dalles, and that was the first time I saw her. And when I saw her, I thought that she was a lot younger than I was. She had like pigtails, and she had a very sheltered life in the Dalles, and so anyway, I didn't see her for a little bit. Then when I saw her
about
a year went by, I didn't see her much, and then I saw her with some friends of hers, and I just absolutely fell in love with her at that point. In fact, I told my friends that I was with, I said, I'm going to marry her, and so we did get married. Now, in my high school years, I had some real struggles. I got involved in drugs and alcohol on a daily basis, and I was very, very rebellious, like Carol said, and had a couple of rough years there. But when Carol and I got together, I started my life changed, and we ended up getting married. And at that point, really, my whole life changed. My whole priorities changed, and then when we found out that Jessie, our first daughter, was going to be born, my whole way of thinking changed. Nothing else. During those years, all I wanted was what I wanted. But my whole thinking changed when I was going to be a dad, and nothing else mattered but that how I was going to raise my child, raise my family, and support my family.
And remember, the year we were married is when your dad tragically died.
Yeah.
Suddenly had
a massive stroke, and passed away, so my dad never even got to see his grandchildren or
So we saw firsthand what alcoholism does in a family. Your family was devastated. Todd's mother was devastated, and he had said for years all he ever wanted was a grandchild, and it was very, very devastating. It was really a heartache, and. I've shared my testimony with the listeners in a previous program. You can look back at Connie. Connie Davies was with me, and I shared a lot about what happened in my childhood. And during that time, I was raised in church, raised in the things of God, but I backslid and was a rebel at the same time when I met Todd. But when we got married, it was like God's hand came so strong on us, and our lives began to change immediately. And I remember we brought Jessica home from the hospital, and my mom was with us. We were in Oregon, and Todd and I were there, and a knock came to the door of my parents' house. And when my mom opened the door, she called for Todd, and standing on the porch were 3 or 4 of his friends that he used to party with and do drugs with. And I knew what that meant with them at the door, and my mom did too. And we looked at each other. I looked at Todd, and I was holding Jesse in my arms, and he went to the door, and they were asking him to come with them and let's go party. And I remember looking at him, and he looked at me, and he turned around and went to that door, and he said, "I'm not going. I won't be joining you anymore. My life has changed. I've turned my life over to God, and I have a family. I have a wife." And that night, when that door closed, it was over. That any pulls to the world or the alcohol or the old friends, it was over in our lives. And we so desperately wanted the will of God.
Yes.
That's what we talked about.
And that was so... God put that in there. It was nothing, there's no, I so have the revelation in my heart that there is no good in me. If there's any good in me, it's Jesus in me, because I was a mess before Jesus. And he totally changed me at that point and put that desire in me to change, and it wasn't my ability, it wasn't anything I could do. God did it.
He did.
And nothing else mattered from that point on as far as, even the decisions we made, where we were going to live, what we were going to do. At that point, I went in the military.
I said we were married at 18 and 19. I was 18, you were 19, and we had Jesse that first year. And then we went to the military. Probably you were about 20.
I was in a National Guard unit I joined National Guard unit in Oregon. And then shortly after that, I went regular Army, went active duty, and was stationed at Fort Lewis for a year, and then got transferred to Panama. And we got orders for Panama. Neither one of us even knew where Panama was. We had to go to the library and look. There wasn't computers back then.
Find out where we were going.
So we had to go look it up and see where Panama was. And so we spent 3 years in Panama. And during that, I went down for 8 months, and Carol stayed with her parents during that time, and she really got her heart right with God during those 8 months. And I quit drinking and everything and drugs and all that at that point, quit smoking. I used to smoke like 2 packs of cigarettes a day. And all that was already over. But when she came down to Panama, we got involved in a church down there. Church of God had an outreach center there.
To the servicemen, yeah.
To the servicemen. And so I got involved. We got real involved in the church, and I gave my heart to God at that point, or accepted Jesus as my Lord at that point.
And he was so miraculously delivered from drugs that when people heard his testimony, he would share his testimony on the base with the other soldiers, and we would do events. And there's a song that is very dear to both of us that I sing quite a bit at the church, and it's called "I Believe in a Hill Called Mount Calvary." And it talks about a shell of a man and how a human being came to Jesus and his life was transformed. And Todd would give his testimony, and I would sing that song. And it was such a powerful time in our life, what God did in us down there. He really took the world out of us. We stayed home, we prayed, we studied our Bible, we just lived for Jesus. And a lot of our friends on the base would want to go out on Friday and Saturday night, and a lot of times we'd watch all the children, and they would go out, and we would have the children. And one time I was at a meeting. Todd was a sergeant at that time, and so I was with the other ladies who were leaders in Todd's company, and the command sergeant major's wife was leading the meeting, and she said, if you women want to know when our husbands come in from the field, I can tell you how you know. And of course, everybody just looked at her because they would go out on these, missions, and then they would come back, but we wouldn't know. Training exercise.
We'd be gone for like a week at a time out in the jungles of Panama.
And we wouldn't know, exactly when they were coming home. She said, just keep your eyes on Todd and Carol Reynolds' house, because Todd Reynolds is the first man home. He doesn't stop at the NCO club. He doesn't stop for a drink after work. He comes straight home. And if you want to know if the unit is in, look at his house. And that was such a testimony. And God began to so change our hearts. And we just had such a cry that we wanted to be in the ministry. We wanted to work for God. We wanted to, be in the things of God. And that's really when we started even praying in Panama about
what to do when we got out. Because we sat, and from there I went to Fort Huachuca, Arizona for my last year in the military. And
can I tell what happened to me?
Go ahead.
When I shared with the listeners, I shared my testimony of the asthma, but we went through a major situation in Panama. I woke up one morning after we had our second daughter. She was just probably a month old. No, it was right before she was born. And I had huge knots all around my knees, all around my elbows, my wrists, my feet. And of course, we were in total shock. We didn't know what it was, what happened. I couldn't even get up to the restroom. Todd had to help me. And so he took me to the hospital. And the doctor said, this is massive onset of rheumatoid arthritis. And I mean, we didn't even know what that was. And he began to tell us they were taking x-rays, they were taking blood tests. I was so sick. And
couldn't move.
I couldn't move.
Get out of bed.
And he began to tell us, he told Todd, you've got a reason to get a medical evacuation out of here, to go back home, to get her the kind of treatment she needs. We don't have that available here. And he began to tell us that, you will probably eventually end up in a nursing home. And we told him that we wanted to have our second child at that time. And he said, I would not advise you to have another child because you're not going to be able to take care of it. And so we went home that day, and we were just devastated. And I remember laying in that bed so sick, crying out to God, both of us, saying, God, how can I do what I feel you've put in my heart to do if I'm sick like this? And it seemed like one person after another, God would send people to us that told us about the Word of God, about healing. And I began to believe. I began to cry out to God. And it was a process of about 2 or 3 weeks. And all of those knots left my body. I went back to the doctor. He could not believe it.
He couldn't believe it.
And it never showed up on any blood tests, and it was miraculously gone. And it was one miracle after another in our lives.
You mentioned Rebecca, our second daughter. It's even a miracle that she's alive, because we had the option of going to the civilian hospital downtown, because the Army hospital was very crowded, very overcrowded. So we opted to go to the civilian hospital.
And it was the best
Panama.
Private hospital in Panama.
Yes.
The Shah of Iran ended up staying there. Had the whole floor. It was a beautiful place.
But nobody spoke English there, or very few. So that was a little challenge, the language barrier at times. But anyway, the Army hospital didn't put fetal monitors on the babies, and the civilian hospital did. And as it turns out, the cord was wrapped around Becky's neck, and so every time she had a contraction, it would strangle her. And if if we were not at a civilian hospital, the Army hospital wouldn't have picked that up, because they didn't have fetal monitors, and most likely she wouldn't have made it.
It was one miracle
after another. So it was a miracle
another.
that she's with us.
And God's power drew us and dealt with our hearts. And it just, every step, whether we were in the military, whether we were in the United States, whether we were in Panama, God was leading us and guiding us every step of the way.
So from there, we spent 3 years in Panama, like I said, and we moved to, got transferred to Fort Huachuca, Arizona. And that's where I spent my last year. And we sat down, literally sat down with a map when it was about time to get out, because the Army would send me anywhere, you know, pay to move my household goods, whatever, anywhere in the U.S. And we were really struggling to hear from God where to go. And we thought about going to Denver, to Marilyn Hickey's church. We thought about going, at that time, we thought about going to Ramah, Tulsa. We thought about just several places, Dallas, just anywhere God wanted us to go. And I feel like now we made the wrong decision and went back home to Oregon. And it was we struggled.
It was a trying year.
6 months a year.
Because we knew we were out of the will of God.
We were driving like 50 miles to find a church that, you know, we felt like was moving with the move of God at all, and it just wasn't working out. So we had kept in contact with some friends of ours from Panama. Yeah, they were in the Air Force, but the Army and the Air Force Base were right next to each other in Panama. And we went, and they were attending a church there that some Ramah graduates had started in their home down there. So we drove down there to visit them for Thanksgiving, and ended up that God told us to move down there. So we moved, of all places, to Las Vegas, Nevada, for the move of God.
Can you believe that? We went to Las Vegas, Nevada for the call of God in our life.
Yes.
And we sought God. It was a miracle, because those Ramah students that were pastoring the church in Las Vegas that we went to had been in the Holy Ghost meetings and the prayer meetings with Sam and Jane Whaley in Tulsa.
In Tulsa, yeah.
And they learned about prayer, learned about the things of the Spirit in Sam and Jane's meetings, and God told them to go start a church in Las Vegas, Nevada, that there was a group of people there that God wanted to touch their lives. And that's the church we went to.
Yeah.
And
so we put everything, well, we didn't have a whole lot, but we put what we had in a storage unit and bought a little Datsun B210, I think it was, and didn't have a heater in it, and moved to Las Vegas
with two little girls
and no heater over the mountains, and it was wintertime. So
and we just felt like we were on a journey. We're finding out where God's will was for our life, and that's
all that was important. It was the will of God. I mean, nothing else mattered. We wanted to be where God wanted us to be. So.
And through a series of events in Las Vegas, the pastors who knew Sam and Jane came to our house one night and they said, God has spoken to our hearts. We're going back to Tulsa. God is sending us back to Tulsa. And that had always been the strongest on our hearts. We knew that we wanted to be in Tulsa. That was very strong on our hearts. Yeah. And so it wasn't just within a few weeks we packed up. And, of course, it was a miracle, Todd's job.
Yeah, I got a job at a little oil company, and when we moved to Vegas, and the man we really had a good relationship quickly, and he paid to move our stuff from Oregon and to Vegas, and he was going to let us. He had built a new house and had a house with a pool, a real nice house that he was going to just pretty much give to us, let us live in. And
you were going to be like management,
in the company. I mean, he really loved me, almost like a son. And but God, and that was like, so we were there almost a year, I guess. And so I had to go tell him that God told us to move to Tulsa, and it was a real challenge. And I mean, it was just looking back, but I mean, God said do it, and that's all that mattered. We did it, you know.
And every place we had such favor when we had to make a move. Exactly. And you know, one thing I want the listeners to understand is we really saw what sin did in people's lives in Las Vegas. People that were ravaged in gambling, ravaged in drugs and alcohol, and such needs of people. I mean, there wasn't even any pull to any of that with us. That was the world, that was sin, but my heart broke for the people that we knew, that we saw, that their lives were just ravaged in sin. And we would, you know, cry out even more about the ministry and wanting to be in the will of God. And when we left Las Vegas and went to Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Well, let's tell that story. I took my last paycheck from work and rented a U-Haul trailer and put it. We had a Ford van. We put it behind the van and put what we could. We had a yard sale, got rid of a lot of stuff, but put what we could in those two vehicles. And we had enough. We had a full tank gas to get out of town, and that's all the money we had. God said do it, and we're going to do it.
Every step we did it.
So our friends that we knew there from Panama had us over for dinner that night, and the night before we left, and
we had dinner, and then they said, we have something to tell you, and we said, okay. And they said, God has put it on our hearts to pay your way to move to Tulsa, the gas, the food, the lodging, everything. And we went to Tulsa.
So we got to Tulsa.
And you picked up listeners on my testimony when I told you that we went to Tulsa, we got a place to live, and the first meeting, the first week in 1983 that we were in Tulsa was a women's meeting that Jane Whaley was speaking at. And here I was, this broken little girl from Oregon via the United States military via Las Vegas in a meeting in Tulsa, Oklahoma. And Jane Whaley was preaching on the call of God in her life and about being the little colt that was loosed for the will of God. And I sat there and wept as I listened to the word of God come out of that woman's mouth. The power of God that went into my heart to change my life was phenomenal. I went up for prayer. She was praying with the ladies, and she put her hands on me, and she began to weep. I began to weep. We held each other, hugged. I just, the love in my heart that went to her and the love that came from her to me. And she talked to me about being a prayer warrior in the end times, in the last days, and it was so powerful. And from that time on, our hearts were knit with Sam and Jane, and we went to a lot of the Holy Ghost meetings, the prayer meetings. We learned how to pray. We saw hundreds and hundreds of people come to those meetings and stay for hours praying and crying out for the will of God for their lives. Sometimes everyone would be on their knees in huge auditoriums and chapels and places where we met. And people would come with, broken lives and lives that were just devastated for all kinds of reasons, people that came out of the bar life, people that came out of drugs and alcohol, people that came out of, sexual slavery and all the different, things that we see devastate people's lives. And we would see hundreds and hundreds of people in those meetings, listening and weeping and crying out for their deliverance, repenting from their sin. And Sam traveled a lot at that time, but he would be at the meetings and he would bring such a powerful word. And this went on for several years, and we just loved it. And then in a meeting, Sam was preaching, and when he was done preaching, he told all of the people that God spoke to him and Jane to go back to where it started in North Carolina, and that they were going to go back to the church that they had started there. And he needed somebody to drive an 18-wheeler and move all of their things. And of course, I raised my hand immediately and went to Sam, because Todd, his training in the military had been heavy equipment and 18-wheeler semi-tractor trailers. And I told Sam we would do it. And you want to comment?
Well, yeah. Carol told me that they were needing somebody, and I was, I got a week's vacation. We'll just go to North Carolina. I just wanted to help people anyway. So, I was glad to do it, loved to do it. So we all loaded our girls up and jumped in a big truck and drove out here and unloaded their furniture. And I was taking the truck back to Tulsa. And when I left here, I had never been in North Carolina before. But when I left here, it was like I was leaving home. Yeah. And that's how we got here. God told us to move here. It was like a month later, I think 4 or 5 families went together and rented the same tractor trailer and moved all our stuff out here. And but that's how we got it. God said, I'll never forget that feeling. I was driving through the gorge, and it was like, this was home.
Yes, it was home. And we were 27 and 28 when we moved here, and we knew we had found home.
Yes.
And my dad was an Assembly of God minister, preacher. And I remember sitting down with my dad and telling Dad what was on our heart and how God had put it on our hearts to go to North Carolina. And at first, my mom said, "Oh, you're going the other way." She thought we would, come back
we went
to
from Vegas to Tulsa.
Yes, she thought we would come back to Oregon. And my dad looked at me, and I'll never forget it. And he's gone now, but he looked at me and he said, "Carol Ann, if you have found the pearl of great price, you have to go."
Yeah.
And that was a very powerful word into my heart from my dad that knew that we wanted the will of God. And we just loved it. When we came, the church was small. There were about 35 of us that came.
The old steakhouse in 221.
And we just loved it. I mean, we were like a family. And the ministry grew and grew. We had people come from all over the world, all over the United States, that were coming to the church for deliverance and calling us. And it was so powerful. Jane?
This is what we were looking for.
Yes.
What God put in our hearts way back in Oregon when we first got married back in not that God put in our hearts for a place to raise our children. That's all. I mean, even way back then, public school was not a place I wanted to put my children. I'll just put it that way. And God moved us out here, and we were able to start a Christian school. And in fact, I was a principal of the Christian school when we first started for a number of years. And I just loved it. I mean, it was such an answer to prayer that for our children to have a place to be raised in the things of God and not have to be contaminated or not to be influenced by the things of the world,
And one thing that we've seen first in Sam and Jane's life for over 30 years is their heart for people. Whatever the will of God was for somebody's life. And it is amazing how they can look at someone's life and see the call of God and see in somebody what they can't see themselves. And that was us. Mm-hmm. And we so wanted to fulfill the call of God in our life. And we just watched the church grow. And, we've been through all the persecutions from 1995, the Inside Edition, all the, when even in the county there were prayer vigils against us. We've been, gone into places in the county and been barked at, being called a woofer. I mean, we've been through all of that. We understand the Bible. We understand what God says about persecution, and our life has been so blessed. We now have 4 grandchildren, yes. And just God is so. He so loves us, and we learned that here. I mean, really, we came here and grew up, didn't we? We really did. At the same time, our children were growing up, and it's so precious, our church family and what God's done in all of our lives, and the call of God that's on our life is so special and so precious. We wouldn't trade it for anything.
And I'm really so thankful, I want to say, too, for this opportunity to share, because, I mean, it's been on my heart I thought we need to write a book or something to get it out, because everybody in the church has a story how we got here. I mean, just a handful of people are from Rutherford County. And but the majority of the people in the church are from somewhere else. And, either Sam and Jane might have gone out preaching somewhere, or they've heard from somebody. I mean, everybody has a story, an adventure, really, how we all got here and how God put us together. So I'm just really thankful for this opportunity to share, and for the people in the church to share how, what God has done in our lives and how we all got here, really.
And there's a common thread with all of us and all the testimonies that the listeners have heard. And that common thread is we wanted to serve God. We wanted to serve Jesus. And, what's taught the gospel at the church, the love, to how to truly have the love of God in your heart, and what happens to people when they are born again. And we see the fruit of that. We've seen that in, the different lives of the members at the church, and the standard of excellence that Sam and Jane have for the love and care for people and for the needs in their lives, and just an understanding of what it takes for a person to be healed, to be restored, to be delivered from a lifestyle that's been devastating. And sometimes, in different churches, people get set free or delivered from things, but that work of restoring their life. A lot of people don't understand that process in somebody's life. And we've seen that at the church, how he restores marriages and delivers people from a lifestyle of sin and heals them and teaches them how to live in Jesus. And that has been the message of our pastor, Sam and Jane Whately. That's their message. That's the message of the gospel of Jesus Christ. So we are 2 lives that have been changed.
Yes.
by the blood of Jesus Christ and the gospel, and we're so grateful and thankful. And we are just honored to come to our listeners and let you hear, you know, what went on in our lives, our hearts, and what Jesus did in our lives. And that's what we've been doing on the program with all the outrageous media allegations that say the deep, dark secrets at the Word of Faith. And here we are opening our hearts and telling you and showing you what God has done in all of our lives. And we'll be back on Wednesday. Visit the website, wordoffaithfellowship.org. And thank you for listening today. And God bless you.
4-7 WCAB is serving the foothills of the Carolinas. Learn more about us at www.wcab59.com.
From ABC News, I'm Sherry Preston.
We have a lot of good things to talk about.
President Trump, just before he and Russian leader Vladimir Putin stepped into their summit in Helsinki.
Discussions on everything from trade to military to missiles to nuclear to China to... We'll be talking a little bit about China.
ABC's Terry Moran is there.
President Trump and Vladimir Putin